Good afternoon, X-ray students and other interested parties. This is X-ray Ed coming at you once again with some X-ray and radiographic education related material. Okay, so today what we were doing in lab, we were doing some experimentation with automatic rescaling. So as you probably know, whenever you take a digital image, CR or DR, what you're going to have when you first pass that image to the computer is going to do something called automatic rescaling. If the image is too dark or if overexposed, then the computer is going to try to bring that image down into a range that's visually pleasing to the human eye. Those of you that have been in the business for a while might be familiar with something called optical density. About 1.5 to 1.75 optical density units is something that the human eye can look at and we find it pleasing. Okay, so if an image is too dark or an image is too light, well, we don't like that. We like it to be somewhere in the middle. The computer tries to fix it for us, and we're going to take a look at how it does that a little bit today in this laboratory activity. But first, I want to show you our setup. Okay, so what I've got, X-ray tube at a 40-inch SID, detented to the table, and let me introduce you to our patient. The patient du jour is the knee phantom. There it is. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take some images of this knee phantom and we're going to be using 65 kVp and a variety of mass values. We're going to start at 1 mass at the low end and then we're going to work our way up, 2, 4, 8, 16, and we're going to go all the way up to something ridiculous. Our final image will be taken at 288 mass at 65 kVp. Now obviously you would never do that. The purpose of this experiment is just to show the limits that the computer works with when it comes to automatic rescaling. It can fix your image but not unlimited. So let's take a look and see what our results look like. Okay, so how does this image look? This one has a S number of 1452, so we know it's underexposed. We kind of knew that going in, right? Is it too underexposed though? Can we see the patella? Yeah, we can. And if we zoom this thing, do we see quantum model? Yes, we do. Right here, some is. Okay, so we have quantum model. This is no good. We need to repeat this image. So for CR, yeah, this is the CR, not the DR. Yeah, we haven't done the DR yet. Because it's just the way it is. All right, so CR image acceptable. No, we need to repeat that thing. All right, now, what about the next one? Okay, this one has an S number of 578, which we've probably seen in clinic plenty of times when we're doing exposures. Do we necessarily need to repeat this just based on the S number? Well, I don't know, maybe. Let's zoom it and see if we see quantum model. If we can see good detail and we don't see too much quantum model, what do y'all think? Is that too grainy? Yeah, I think so. Am I going to necessarily repeat this? I don't know, probably. Definitely whenever I do my lateral, I'm going to dial up my technique because this wasn't good. So that's not ideal. Maybe not necessarily repeatable, but not beautiful either. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. S number of 264. S number between 200 and 300, I pretty much like that. Let's zoom it and see what it is. Quantum model apparent? Not really. What the heck is that? I don't know. It's something. But does this image look okay? It actually does. Okay, an S number of 264, and I can see the bony trabecula. I'm going to pass this image. I don't want to repeat that thing. Okay, look, if I'm talking smack here and y'all disagree, please speak up.
You're talking smack.
I wasn't smack.
And we just...
Okay, well, in that case,
Just
set
kidding.
me straight.
Just
What?
kidding, just
Okay. You got better eyes than I do. Although I have the better taste in music. Okay, so what does this look like? Does that look good? That looks good. I like this. I like it, I love it. I want some more of it. What was the S number on this? Ah, son.
Son of a bitch.
Okay. All right, I think I'm back where we were. Nope. I got a list. Now, where was I? Okay, this one. No, this one. This was the one with 129, right? S number of 129. That looks good. Okay, so it's a little overexposed, but not crazy overexposed. Okay, number 5. All right, finally Ms. Layla got the numbers on there.
Y'all should know by now. I can't do nothing right.
Oh. Same, it's okay.
Pretty funny.
It's all good, especially because your image looks great. Look at
Good
that.
job.
That's beautiful, man. There's no quantum model.
Gorgeous.
It's not burned out. It looks great. Now, what about that S number? We should probably talk about that. Man, what the?
Great.
Okay, that S number is 70. Yes. So we're about 3 times overexposed here. So what we're going to do is for our lateral image, let's back off our mass by a factor of 3. So if we used like 15 mass for this, then our subsequent images we're going to use 5. What was our mass on this anyway?
19. I'm just kidding. I was looking at the next one.
This is the 70 one. Okay, so this was at 18 mass. We should have been using 6. But we all know that, right?
Yep.
Y'all are good at dialing up techniques, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah. To hear me tell it. I'm fabulous. Okay, this one here, I'm not even going to bother to zoom. You can just look and see. Look how smooth that is. Okay, this is what you call high signal to noise ratio. This image looks really fine. But we've got this going on. Okay, 33. That means we're about 6 times overexposed. Maybe 7. Okay, so what was that? 39 mass. Okay, 39 mass for an X-ray. We know that's bad, right? But how does the image look? Yeah, it looks real good. I think we found a new technique for these. People have been doing it wrong all this time. Now we know what to do. Okay, what if we increase the mass again? 81 mass. Okay, 81 mass for an X-ray, that's even starting to give me pause. You know, something's just not right. But how does the image look? Can we window width and level and see everything we need to? Why, yes, we can. Are we over-penetrated? Not really. We just have too much mass. Image passable? I think it is. Okay, the only thing I'm wondering about is 2 areas. Right, you see that little area right there? I think we've got a couple spots of pixel burnout. See that? I don't think we can window width and level that little spot. I think it's just black no matter what we do. Okay, so, oops, we can't show that to a radiologist. They're going to think we've gone crazy. So at first blush, this looks okay, but no, 15 S number. Okay, A, I don't want a doctor to know I got a 15 S number, so I'm going to try to hide that. And B, there's some places on this film that not visualized, just simply because we burned it out. Okay, now, what about this one here? This is the one with the S number of 6. Can we salvage this guy with window width and level? No. We've got areas here, 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 that same area that was giving us trouble before, this one over here. We've got pixel burnout here. Not as much here as I originally thought. Okay, so 350 mass. Good technique for a knee? No. What about for an abdomen? Maybe. Who here has had a person that you had to x-ray them with like 400 plus mass just to get through their abdominal tissue? That's a thing. Was your image overexposed? Probably.
It was actually for chest.
For chest x-ray?
This guy was over 500 pounds, we had to hit him with like 300 and some mass.
Just to get a chest
Just to get
x-ray?
chest.
What about for your lateral? Were you able to
That
do
was the lateral.
That was the lateral? Okay. I was gonna say, if you had to hit him that hard for lateral, then you might not have been able, I'm sorry, for a PA, then you might not be able to get lateral at all. There was a patient in the CCU that was like right at 700 pounds, and we had to do portable chest x-ray on him like every day. And whenever we would put the plate down behind this dude, I mean, it was just gone. And so we were just shoot it and hope for the best. But his lungs were so small that we hardly ever missed.
The way this guy was too, it's like, get it all set up for the PA, it's like this postage stamp of line on his back, it's like, there's just no way. But his lungs are like this big.
Yeah, exactly. His lungs are being crushed by all the adipose tissue. Okay, so what did we learn here? Don't overexpose. If you're going to overexpose, keep it reasonable. So we had good x-rays at 4.3 mass up to 18 mass. The 39 mass was questionable, but it was okay, right? Okay, so we can go up to 40 mass on a knee and get away with it using a Fuji system. Okay, now let's see what happens when we switch over to our DR system. Well, for one thing, I've got to log that in. Perfect? I think so, huh? Okay, so this was with our DR system, and this first exposure we took was like 1 mass. Is that true? Okay, 1 mass. Did we get an image? Is that a usable image? Oops. Is it modeling? A little bit. And you see that moire pattern? Who sees the moire? See those diagonal looking lines right there? And see how that thing, it does like an optical illusion thing as I zoom in and out? Okay, that's a moire pattern. How come we saw a moire pattern on this? Because we forgot to activate the table look. So basically for this image here, we were shooting through a stationary grid. Stationary grid puts lines on the image receptor. And then whenever we look at the image on the computer doesn't know what to do with those little lines of missing information. And so it just kind of interpolates, and that gives us the moire. But y'all knew that.
Yep.
Okay, second image, what? Wait, 292, 276. Okay, this image here.
That was the same one.
Okay, so that's the same one again, so forget that. Okay,
That-
669, this is the real one. This is the real image number 2. And there it goes. Okay, again we have the moire pattern. But how does the image look besides the moire? You think so? It looks okay. I kind of tend to agree. I think that looks all right. Would I pass that? Well, I'm not real happy about it, but I'm going to do it because I can see everything I need to. I'm just going to give the next image a little more energy because that was a low exposure index. This system is looking for an exposure index. I don't know exactly what the target index is. I put in a call to the Rance company, but they have not called me back, so I need to call them again. Because I can't figure out how to make this thing give up its target indices. Okay, so for this next image. Okay, for this one, do we see the Murray pattern? No, we don't. What happened? Me and Ms. McKeithen turned on the table bucky. Now the bucky's in motion during the exposure, no more Murray pattern. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. How about quantum model? Do y'all see any quantum model here? No, I really don't. I think this looks like a good image. Okay, now what do we do for the next one? Okay, this is the same one again, so forget that. Okay, now we're 22, so our target number must be around 2,000, because we're just a little bit, here we're a little bit above, and here we're just a little bit below. Okay, so 2260 is our exposure index. How does our image look? Looks nice, doesn't it? Okay, I'm liking this. What was the technique on this? 9. Okay, so this is just a shade overexposed. What was our previous technique? 4.3. Okay, so probably like halfway between 4.3 and 9 would be like the quote-unquote ideal for this system. So we're going to make a note of that. So for knee x-rays, AP knee x-rays, we need to be, what's halfway between there? Let's see. Like 7, 6.5, 7, something like that. Okay, so probably 7 mass would have put us right on the green target. All right, but we didn't do that. We kept on going. Okay, we're still green, but we can tell just by looking at this that we're a little hot. Can we see everything we need? It looks weird, doesn't it? It looks dark. Can we lighten it up? Why, yes, we can. Man, okay, we can make that a nice looking x-ray. So if we can do it, so can the radiologist. So that's definitely passable, even though it's hot. So we're going to make ourselves a note. Don't shoot like that again, because this is like getting into red territory, overexposure. So that was what, 19 mass? Okay, 19 mass. We're pushing the envelope here, but we got away with it. Okay, what was our next exposure? This was number 6. Okay, this was at 39 mass. Okay, now what happened? We're scorched. We're burnt out. Look right here, we burnt out the bone on that medial margin. That's what the doctor's going to ask. He's going to say, look, did this patient have, are they really eroded to this point? Was their bone sticking out through their skin?
Well, it wasn't, but it is now.
No. Yeah, exactly. It is now. Okay, so is this acceptable? Absolutely not. Okay, we're in the red. We got an exposure index of 5,100, so we're like 2.5 times overexposed, and we can't get away with it. We can't window width and level that. See, sometimes we can make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, but sometimes we cannot. Okay, that was number. Dang it. Was that number? This was the one we were just looking at.
Yeah.
No, that's number 5.
That's
This is-
number 7.
Nope, Poland's around 5181.
Okay.
Just took a bite out of there.
Okay, so this one has an exposure of 7484. So that, yeah, this is number 7. We burnt out the 7, so we can't see the number. We also burn out the patient's knee. Medial and lateral aspects are gone. So, yeah, see, we fried that so hard that the computer can't window width and level it anymore.
She's scorched.
Big time. Okay, so this is no good. That's no bueno. Okay, number 7. Okay, this was 7484.
That's.
Oh, this is number 6. I got it out of position somehow.
I think that's.
Okay, there's number 6. Somehow or another, number 6 it's haunting me. Okay, this was number 7. This was number 8. Okay, this has an exposure index of over 12,000. All right, but here's what we're gonna do. Let's reorient it so that we're nice and straight.
Much better.
Okay. And now let's window level this thing. Okay, what's happened here is that every pixel, see this area here? Okay, every pixel within this area has been burnt to the saturation point. In other words, they all have a grayscale value of 65,000. And so as far as the computer's concerned, there's no difference between any of these pixels. Therefore, no contrast. So the computer's got nothing to show us. We have managed to fry the entire plate. So there's literally nothing there. Now we know there was a knee in the way because we saw this exposure get taken. But the computer's got nothing to show us. So that was, okay, so with the CR system, did we get away with this? Kind of. With the CR system, we could still see the bones at least. So we knew it was a knee x-ray we were looking at. This one here, we don't know if this is a knee or an elbow or a hand or what. We just have no clue what we were shooting at here. So the DR system, okay, the CR you can get away with some really high mass. The DR systems, especially the newer ones, you can't because their pixel sensitivity, their DQE is high. And so what it lets you do is it lets you shoot chest x-rays at like 1.4 mass. You can get away with that with some of the new, like the Shimadzu portables and stuff, but they don't have a high tolerance for overexposure. So you have to be careful if you're going to shoot high mass, because you might burn it out around the edges without meaning to. Okay, so I don't know if you can read this all that well or not, but if you take a look here, okay, remember, we're shooting a knee phantom at 65 kVp. At 1 mass, we had an exposure index of 292, and then at 2.1 mass, we went up to 669, and so on. As we're increasing our mass, we're increasing our exposure index in a direct proportionality. And then if we look at our S number, as we go from 1 mass, we started out with an S number of 1452, which, obviously had quantum model. That wasn't a good image. At 2 mass, we had a 578, and then as we work our way down, our final image was at 2, I think we couldn't do 300 mass, we did 288 mass. We wound up with an S number of 6 and an image that was way overexposed. We couldn't fix that. The interesting thing was, between 4.3 mass and I think 36 mass, I think we judged all those images. So what did we learn in today's laboratory? Well, we learned that the computer can fix our mistakes. As a matter of fact, with CR and DR, we have a very wide latitude. You can, as long as you kind of sort of know what you're doing, if you shoot a knee x-ray at say 70 kVp in 4 mass, you should be able to get away with that just fine. The thing is, and that image ought to look pretty good. But with a computed radiography system or a digital radiography system, the problem is you can use 70 kVp and you can go up to like 50 mass before you start seeing significant degradation of your image. So there's a big propensity amongst a lot of technologists to kind of err on the side of not seeing any quantum model, and so they kind of get in the habit of overexposing every patient. You definitely shouldn't do that. Just because we can overexpose a patient and get away with it doesn't mean that we should. It's not good for your patient, and it's also against the ARRT code of ethics. We're supposed to be keeping our exposure to the patient as low as reasonably achievable. That means use responsible technique, shield whenever possible, and keep your time to a minimum. Try not to repeat exposures, but don't overexpose. All right, so that's basically all I have for you today. Get out there, shoot some x-rays, take good care of your patients, and if you're preparing for your registry, then good luck. Hopefully the information we provide in these videos will help you out at least a little bit. All right, take care, have a great day. Bye.